Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. Usually me and Abigail are just kind of hanging out and talking about questions that are from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube from y'all. And we do a little catch up about what's been happening on the farm. And this week's a little bit different. We are taking a turn, and I think this could end up being like a new type of video we do. But we have a guest, so say hello to Miss Rebecca. So Rebecca is my childhood best friend and still my best friend. And a lot of you, because we've been making videos together lately, and she has her own channel, and we just went to a horse show with her daughter, and she is getting, a couple of my animals here soon. A lot of you had some questions about our friendship and her and her things and all that good stuff. So we're just going to do that. Abigail's basically our interviewer today, and she has gathered questions from y'all for this video. So take it over.
All right. So how did y'all meet?
How did we meet?
Okay. You want to?
No, you got to talk now.
So we were at a sock hop at our elementary school, and
Explain what a sock hop is.
it was like a 50s themed dance
Okay.
in elementary school, and our parents got to talking in the stands while we were out there doing the
Boogieing.
twist. And they realized we had horses and land, they had horses, and so they were like, "Oh, I bet your daughter would want to come over and meet our daughter's horses." So I guess they didn't put together that we were 6 years apart. So that
Kindergarten,
night,
fifth grade.
we actually left the dance that night and went and saw their barn, saw running springs.
I don't remember that.
Well, because you were a child. And then our parents kind of became friends, which inadvertently made us friends. And my parents, when they would hang out, we would hang out.
Yeah, like poker nights and stuff.
Yeah. So we
we
were kind of forced into the friendship by our parents becoming friends. And then I guess from there, I worked for her parents and went to horse shows, and it was kind of like a big sister, little sister, more like cousins, I think.
Because you were, let's see, when we met, were you 10 or 11?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
11.
10
probably.
or 11, and I was 5.
Yeah.
And then I started doing POAs, showing Pony of the Americas within probably a few years of that, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And that's when I think you were also trying to board a horse as well. And so it was kind of working at the shows for riding the horses and stuff like that. And
I'd help unload trailers, groom, get on first, get the bugs out.
because you were still tiny and they're
Yeah.
ponies.
Yep.
And so it was easier for you to get on and
Well, your mom was getting you ready.
Right.
So I took on the pony getting it ready, even though your mom still did a lot of it.
yeah.
And I would say it was probably when Katie went to college that we became more... we were friends through high school, but it was still kind of
Big sister.
Big sister, little sister, or cousinly, kind of
Because
that.
I was in high school when we did the Twilight stuff.
That's what I'm saying. We were definitely
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
We never stopped being friends, but it wasn't until she went to college that at that point the age really didn't matter anymore, and we were true, going out together friends.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really imagine the friendship between a 10-year-old and a
5-year-old.
15-year-old.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was very much, I was working at the barn. She would come down. I would help her with her pony.
Okay, but I remember that because it was
We
very
had fun though, too.
It was very cousin-y, big sistery, because you would still make fun of me and stuff. Because I remember when you started dating Evan,
Yeah.
and you were 15 or 16, and he started coming around, and he had his friend Landon, and I was so shy about the boys, and you were like, "Katie, I found your training bra in the horse trailer," and I was like,
Training dog.
and I was
Which probably fit me at the time.
And you were-
Not like
I
I
was-
had any room.
so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You said it in front of them."
Yep. So that's kind of how it all butted into this friendship.
Yeah,
So did you ever show together?
yeah. We showed 4-H.
Compete against each other?
No,
in
we were never
anything?
in the same age
No.
group.
No? Okay, I guess that makes sense.
I
Would've
kept it
smoked her.
civil.
Yeah.
I kept it civil.
But you showed in 4-H together?
Yes.
Yeah. And I showed some of their horses as well as my own.
Bo
And Hootie.
Hootie. So what's kind of your horse background and show history?
Yeah. So I started taking lessons when I was 4. And from there, got my own first horse, I think when I was 6. She was just kind of like a pasture ornament. She was a retired polo
that
horse.
Star?
No, that was Cherry. And I learned just ground manners and things like that. Then I started really getting into showing about 9. Showed a lot. And from there, I started off hunter jumper. So I primarily am more comfortable in an English saddle, do hunter jumper stuff. Then when I met Katie and started riding their horses, learned the Western pleasure side of things because I was having to help with her ponies, and then started showing their horses. When I went to college, I sold my show horse to pay for college, some of the college, and then I actually got a horse from Katie when Shorty.
We were like, hey, he broke her back. You
Yeah.
take him.
He was a nut, so I like him a little nutty. So I took Shorty and did a lot of trail riding and stuff, but then sold. I'm horse free right now just because after I had kids, I was not putting the time they needed into them and ended up
Did you
getting.
have Shorty when you had Presley?
I did.
I totally forgot that you still had him back then.
I would say she was probably 6 months old when Shorty
Made the
left.
decision.
So we had 2 horses at the time. My husband had one, I had one, and we sold them both just because they were not getting the attention and time in the saddle. I mean, I just, and then I was going to get pregnant again anyways.
Yeah.
So just had to stop.
Well, I mean, like, I haven't had the period where we didn't have horses, but I mean, like, I feel like any horse girl, at some point, usually you either have a period where you really slow down,
Yeah.
or you have a period of being horseless. Like you just kind of have to grow up at some point and have like a little time designated for your getting married, kids, if you want to do that. A lot of
Right.
people don't want to do that, but we do. So
Okay, you both have to tell your most embarrassing memory or story with each other.
you probably have more about me than I do about you. Hold on.
Or funny. Or like a funny story.
The first thing that popped into my brain was when you were definitely like 16, 17 down here at the barn, and
Is it the
you're-
mouse?
no, that wasn't what I was thinking about, when, because you used to like jump your horse in booty shorts and like split up the back crack.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I thought about, because Santiago and Felipe were out there, and I was just like my daddy, I'm sure, was like, stop like looking at that child.
That's pretty embarrassing. Katie just has this. It's just like an ongoing issue.
I'm
where
trying to think of where you're going
She
with this.
knows she's lactose intolerant.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Like, she knows
is this
not
the
to
boat?
eat the milkshake. But she does, and then puts herself in secluded situations, nowhere near a bathroom, just over and over. And I just won't go into any more detail than that. But
Are you talking about the point?
yes.
You could tell it.
Is this
All right,
the
so
boat?
we were on
Yeah.
the boat.
Were you there on that trip?
Right, yeah.
I don't remember
Either
anything.
I've been told the story enough that I'm my brain.
I thought,
think
well,
I'm
you
there.
might have been. You were
But I
going
think-
with us a lot at that
yeah.
point.
But
at
we
that
had to
age.
like stop the boat on like a random island.
No, it wasn't even an island. There's like, as I showed her Diarrhea Point.
But it's not even just that one situation. It's all the time. Like, she'll drink a milkshake and we're just like, it's like a ticking time bomb. And then she's like, oh, and just like out of there.
No, like, yeah, I can't help it. But at the same time, on that trip specifically, there was no island. I was in jeans and a t-shirt because we went to watch the fireworks. I was not in a bathing suit,
Wow.
and I had to get down in the water,
Proud to be an American plan.
and it was like in the midst of the
Diarrhea in
fireworks.
the water.
Yeah.
And then got
Anyways.
back into your jeans.
Katie's
Yes.
spouse.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't feel like I feel like there are some embarrassing stories, but you sheltered me so hardcore that I don't feel like I know them all firsthand enough, because I hear stories of them
Yeah.
and I can't tell them, because with the age gap, when you were older than me into your shenanigans, I heard about the shenanigans later. I was so like sheltered.
I felt like, not that you would, but I didn't want you to know some of the things I was doing as like an 18, 19-year-old.
And I was a
Because-
13-year-old.
Yeah. Not because you would like not agree with it, but I didn't want you to think like that was okay to do.
Yeah.
Because I knew I shouldn't be acting the way I was acting. But it's good times.
Hey, it's fine.
We also just don't get embarrassed.
I was
Like, we're
gonna say,
awkward, but like we don't get embarrassed.
like, I will tell the Diarrhea Point story. I
Yeah.
just don't feel the embarrassment from
No.
that.
We're both hard to embarrass.
Yeah. Oh,
It takes a lot.
yeah.
What's something you admire about each other?
I think you're Superwoman.
Wow, thanks.
Like truly.
Wow.
Like, I admire, like, Like, you're good at everything.
No.
And you just have a handle on everything somehow.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you've seen it, but, like, I'll have a handle on things for a long time and then boil over.
I just don't know anyone else that can, like, manage the things that you do and just be so, like, graceful in it.
I feel like that's very questionable.
It's not, though. It is to
Yeah.
you. But no, you're literally Superwoman.
Well, thank you. I think Katie's brave in ways that I'm not. Like, I'm not a risk taker in any way. Like, I think things through probably too much and miss opportunities where you're very just like, this is a good idea, and you go with your gut and you do it. And most of the time it plays out very well
Sometimes.
for you. But
Not all the time.
it would take me 6 months to make a hard decision like that, where I feel like I'm much more reserved about things than you are.
That's good to have sometimes. Like, I
Yeah.
need that sometimes.
I think if we had like some of each other's traits, we would be like one whole person.
On the other end of the spectrum, what are your pet peeves about each other?
That she can't say words. Like, she is an old person. You're eye twitching at this. that, like, I already knew as soon as you said it. Like, she says Chipotle instead of Chipotle.
All right, I'm old.
Like, you're like an old person trying to say words like names of stores. And I'm just like, that's not the name of it.
I know. The procrastination. Like, for the trip we just went on, I made a whole itinerary down to addresses, times, flight numbers, day by day. Not like where we were going to eat. I can be spontaneous in that as long as I have like an hour notice to review the menu in
Can you
detail
be-
prior to arriving at the restaurant.
Can you be spontaneous?
But multiple times we're driving in the car and what time does our flight leave tomorrow? It's on the itinerary I made you. She's very spontaneous. I'm very.
No, it is procrastination. It's the worst trait of mine. Like, it's terrible.
And I'm a very detailed, pre-planned person.
It's like the opposite.
Very opposite. And that's why we never had the opportunity, but us living together would have been our downfall.
No.
Yeah.
It would never be good.
I can't go to bed at night with a dish in the sink. I think about the dish in my sink as I lay in my bed.
It would have been like the most horrific experience if we
Yeah.
ever lived together.
When Katie first met Jonathan, what was your opinion of him?
I plead the fifth. I already knew Jonathan.
I feel like I've already told this story.
It's been
Okay.
told because someone specifically asked why
Okay.
you did not like him.
I knew Jonathan
She
before
can't
Katie.
say exactly
I
why
can't
she
say
didn't like
why. I didn't like Jonathan. I did not dislike Jonathan. Let me clarify. I do not dislike Jonathan. I have never disliked Jonathan. I did not think Jonathan was a good fit for Katie. And I was proven wrong. And I own that I was proven wrong.
Well, I don't know if you want this on there, but someone in the comments was like, was it because of his hoe phase?
I mean, I've said that.
Yeah.
But I think because you were always very protective of me
Yeah.
when I was especially like a late teenager. And I met him when I was 20. So, I mean, I was
Yeah.
barely out of that, like barely an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you've always been just super protective, especially in that front. And like you would tell all your friends, you're literally not allowed to look at her.
Yeah.
Like, don't even talk to her. Yeah. And so the fact that he was in y'all's friend group, he's older than me, but he's younger than you. And I think you just saw him in his little hoe phase, and you were like, absolutely not for
Yeah.
my little angel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think anybody in my like friend circle, like I had like a close circle, and then there was kind of like a group of us that we'd see each other at parties and things like that. There was nobody in that circle that I felt like it needed to be somebody from another world, because I just knew too much. It's a small town. It's a small town.
Yeah.
But he's completely like I said, I never disliked Jonathan
Yeah.
as a person. I just didn't think they would be a compatible match. But I was proven wrong, and
He's my soulmate.
Oh.
He's special.
he was a hoe though.
He was. He owns it. He knows.
Who would be behind bars and who would be posting bail?
I'd be behind bars. She'd be posting bail.
For sure.
And what would it
100%.
be for?
I don't know.
I feel like you would be in just like affiliated with someone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you would actually have done the crime. I think you would have just been like in the scene of someone else's shenanigans.
Probably. I was
Because you
yeah.
like to wrangle people.
Yeah, I was kind of like the babysitter within our friend group, so I could see that happening.
Just getting caught up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think between the two of us, like, I would say I'm definitely a little scrappier than.
No, absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm like,
If you're going into a fight, you probably want to tag me in, not Katie.
I literally would like
Yeah.
leave the situation instead of trying to fix it. And you're a fixer.
Yeah, I can see that. It would be shocking for either of us to be behind
Shocking.
bars. Like, it would be.
You are scrappier. You're
Right.
way scrappier than I am.
So you went and saw all the Twilight premieres together.
Yes.
What's your least favorite and favorite movie each? And then who is your favorite and least favorite character?
Favorite movie is
New
Eclipse.
Moon is my least favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Eclipse is my least favorite would be the OG Twilight. First movie. It's just so.
It's just so iconic, though.
I mean, it is iconic, but if I'm gonna watch them, it's the last one I pick.
You know, I don't know what that was. I was just gonna ignore it, but I think it was too loud. You might be right. I think because it's like the OG that I'm like, oh, it can't be my least favorite. But I think you're right. If I was gonna watch them, I'd never go to the original one. So that as far as movies, yeah, that one probably is my least favorite. But I'm a Breaking Dawn girl, and
Yeah.
she's an Eclipse girl.
Eclipse.
You like it?
Oh yeah, always Eclipse. Least favorite character is Renee. Like, what a deadbeat mom.
Yes,
The worst.
agreed.
It just sends your kid off because you get
Yeah.
a pro athlete and minor
minor.
league
Minor league.
man. The absolute worst. She's terrible.
Agreed.
Doesn't come to graduation.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just the worst. And then my favorite, probably Jacob. Probably Jacob.
I don't know. I was very much a Jacob girl. I know you're an Edward girl. I was very much a Jacob
Yeah.
girl. Team Jacob for sure. But as I look back, he was also like super whiny.
Oh yeah, you're so, like a
Like
Klingon.
makes me want to vomit now looking back. But I was also like 14 and 16.
I was an Edward girl back in the day.
Yes.
But
No one could tell me that Robert Pattinson wasn't like the most hot man in the entire world.
he's still pretty good looking.
He is, but I'm just saying, like, you look back at those movies and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, the hair was a choice. The
The whole movie was
It
just
got
a choice.
better. And like
he was more attractive later on. I think
Eclipse?
that's why I like Breaking
Yeah.
Dawn.
I think in like Eclipse it started.
Yeah.
And then by Breaking Dawn it was like, okay.
That's why I think I like that one better because everyone has like, if they're wearing a wig, it's a good wig.
Yeah.
If they're, you know,
Yeah.
Everyone like glowed up in the last movie.
you okay?
Okay. I'll just say like my favorite and least favorite too.
I want to hear.
I have a tie for favorite. It's New Moon and Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Okay.
Least favorite is probably Breaking Dawn Part 1
Yeah. It's so drawn out.
because it is so dramatic.
Yeah.
I don't mind that though.
And
I
it's
don't
so
know why.
sad also.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't mind that. And maybe it's because that was what was coming out in like real time when I was like older. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was really young for the first ones. We actually didn't go for the original Twilight together. It was all the other
Yeah.
ones. What,
My
so
favorite
what is
character is Edward.
okay?
Least favorite. I don't want to say Jacob, but it's kind of Jacob, I think.
He is kind of whiny.
He is.
No.
Or what's the friend's name?
Leah.
But
No.
I think Leah's misunderstood.
No, not Leah. The one that's like super annoying. She was
Okay,
being-
so I actually have a hot take right now, and I just realized it. I think my least favorite is Bella. Like, let's just be real. I think my least favorite is Bella. I think she's super overdramatic. When you look at
Yeah.
the real
She is.
timeline of Twilight, of how long they were together, and she's just laying writhing in her room.
okay,
Like,
but like she
chill.
met her soulmate.
But, like,
how would you
chill.
feel?
But was it her soulmate? Because
It
Jacob.
was.
okay, but like, how was
It
it actually not
obviously
grooming?
was.
How is it actually not grooming? They're literally like, he has told her everything about me is to entice you. Everything about me. He's also 100 years older. Like,
So you wouldn't fall for it.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I probably would. I'm just saying when you look back at the
Don't blame her.
situation, but like writhing.
I would do
And
the same
screaming?
thing.
Yeah.
I would wake up out of my sleep screaming.
Yeah. She was a little
Oh, for
extra.
Edward?
Dramatic. I think Bella's actually my least favorite. Just kidding. Everyone else is my favorite.
My only other question that I had was what your plans for Squirt are.
To be pets. Just fun. They're going to have good pet lives.
No showing Squirt.
I would be interested in seeing how he feels about a cart.
Why don't you just go ahead and announce his friend?
Okay. So there's a little gelding coming to live with him, and he's so cute. He's actually smaller than Karen and Regina. He's the cutest.
But he's not like he doesn't have like dwarfism. Like he's just bred really small.
Yeah, he's just really tiny. I think he'll be good for Squirt. I think he'll be a good companion.
And he knows how to pull a cart.
He pulls a cart already, so he could teach Squirt. No, I'm just kidding.
So you're going to show him? Or
No,
your kids
I don't have big plans to show anybody. Honestly, I think it'll just be fun. Like, the animals we have now outside of the dogs and the cats, like the cows, is not something they can enjoy. I mean, for safety reasons, like I just don't allow them to be that close to the cows. So I think having a fun little project pet, like he's just gonna have a good little sweet life with kids.
And I could definitely see, like, I know Kinsley is having her little like cat fantasy right now. She wants to show cats. Has no interest in riding.
Yeah.
I could see her liking the minis better if she were to show, because it's not necessarily riding, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah. I could see her liking that.
Like right now they get the dogs out every evening and make them play with them. They're they put on a dog show and they lead them around and do stuff with them and take them on walks at the house. Our dogs don't need to be on a leash by any means, but they put them on leashes and lead them around. So I think having the goats and Squirt there for them to play with is going to be a lot of fun.
Do you plan to get more goats or just stick with those two?
Just those two.
I did see a few other questions, and one of them that was interesting to me is someone said, would you trust your kids to spend the night with me? And I was like, that's an odd question, but would you?
Yeah, so when I had Kinsley, actually, it wasn't a full overnight. I would 100% trust Katie to have them overnight. But when I had Kinsley, of course, my family wanted to be at the hospital. Mm-hmm. So you came at like 3 a.m., got Presley out of bed and took her home and threw her in bed with you guys, and watched The Grinch and hung out. Wow,
it was pouring rain. It was terrible.
So that's the closest to a sleepover. But
here's the thing: I don't think they would. Like, I think they would be all about it up until about 9:30, and then Kinsley'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't do a lot of overnights away. I don't feel like outside of grandparents. They've never stayed anywhere but a grandparent's house.
I just don't think she would.
I'm kind of strict on that.
I think Birdie and Honey are like it.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, there's been a couple times it was hilarious where you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be back at 10." Yeah. Like, I'm keeping them late, but not overnight. And like, she knew you were coming back, and so she's a little bitty, and she'd every like 10 minutes she'd pause Ariel and be like, "My mom's coming to get me." And I was like, I know, yeah, she is. It'd be a little bit longer. She'd be like, okay. She'd like just to remind me,
right?
And then she'd be like, you know my, I'm not sleeping here. Yeah, and I'm like, I know. Like, it was like to reassure herself, but she would let me know.
No, I feel like they're so used to you because they heard your voice as much as mine. Like, even in like the womb,
rubbing your butt when you had sciatic pain.
Yeah, Katie was my emotional support friend while I was pregnant.
I don't know how that happened. That was when we lived in the neighborhood, and for some reason, I think it
was a Christmas party.
I thought it was the night that, for some reason, I don't know why we had so many people over, but we just had friends over, and y'all popped over, and it was when we got a bed finally, because we had a mattress on the floor for forever, because it was on the floor.
Yeah.
So I think it was when like they were putting the bed together in the hall or in like the living room, and we laid on the thing in there, and I was rubbing your butt.
Yeah, I had really bad sciatic pain in my right butt cheek. So I took my husband, like, stick his elbow in it, and I think he was setting up the bed.
Yeah.
And it was a rough night of pain. And I was like, Katie, get on these cheeks.
So I think that's what we're doing for long questions today. I definitely think we need to do a part 2. So if you have any questions or topics about Miss Rebecca that you would like to know in a part 2, or even more things about us together, leave those in the comments, because we would like to pull from them and use your actual comments. But we're going to go into a rapid fire segment.
What's Katie's favorite color?
Turquoise.
Yes.
What's Katie's favorite food?
Chicken.
Yes.
What's Katie's favorite holiday?
Ooh, Halloween.
No.
Really?
Christmas. Presents.
What's her favorite season?
Fall.
Yep.
What's her favorite flower?
Flower. A lily or a daisy.
Yes. I won't know that about you,
It's okay.
unfortunately.
Celebrity crush?
Sam Hugan.
Yes.
Who is that?
Jamie Fraser. Actually, not Sam Hugan. Jamie
It's
Fraser.
specifically Jamie from Outlander.
James Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser.
Okay.
Good, right?
What's her favorite movie?
Twilight.
Would you agree?
No.
No, that's not my favorite either.
What is it?
Pride and Prejudice.
That's my go-to.
Okay, you got it. Favorite book?
Skip.
She likes fae dramas.
Comfort food?
Brownies.
Yeah. It's a good one.
What do you think she would say is her favorite feature of herself?
Favorite feature? Her hair.
As I pet it.
First kiss?
Who was her first kiss? Kip in the closet.
You pulled one from the... Yeah, it is.
I know.
Technically, I was 4. I probably should ask her some stuff now, because that's a lot.
What's Rebecca's favorite color?
Earth tones and black and gray.
Favorite season?
Fall, winter.
Least favorite?
I don't know. Do you not like summer? I mean, I feel like...
I don't like summer.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday?
I don't know.
I have a favorite.
You do?
By far.
I feel like it would be... I don't know. Maybe Christmas is everyone's favorite, but maybe it's not yours.
Thanksgiving.
That's so true.
I love to eat.
I'm so dumb.
You knew that.
Thanksgiving wasn't even in my head. I was blinded by my own
I go to
lights.
4 houses on Thanksgiving and just eat my little heart out.
Maybe that's why I didn't think you liked it, because it's stressful.
I know, but I get to eat so much.
Yeah.
First car?
Was it the Benz?
My own purchase, but my first real car was the green truck.
Favorite TV show?
Now, you better know this.
Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm not as good of a friend as she is, but I hope you enjoyed this first little, having a guest on here. I think it's super, super fun. I will link all of Rebecca's socials down below, so if you would like to go follow her, she cooks a lot, and she has her own cows and the cutest house and farm, and it's amazing, and she will be getting Squirt and Jacob and Edward, the goats, here very soon. So if you want to keep up with them, you'll have to go follow her. But thank you for coming on here, because I know we're both socially awkward, and so it was definitely a thing. You had to put makeup on today. But I hope you enjoyed that. And again, put any more comments that you would like for us to answer, or questions or topics or anything like that, because I do think we need a part 2. So see you in the next one.